All right, so we're going to go through the process of making an E6BoP. Among the things you'll need is a printer and proper paper to work with. And I'm using a grommet kit, which you can get online or at a local craft store. I've seen people use creative other things, just like a nut and bolt, but you need something that supplies an axle to the E6B. So to get you a first look at what the product will look like, you end up with a disc calculator, and it's a two-sided affair. So this actually starts out by printing 4 sheets, 2 backs and 2 fronts. The fronts are smaller diameter. The production units have these large icons on both the base and the front dish. These little printouts are a little bit earlier and don't have that. You're going to take this and print it out ideally on cardstock, but since most of the time we're going to laminate the material, regular printing paper is just fine. So first steps after you get these printed out is to cut the rounds out. Now the forward dishes, the smaller items, you want to cut the outer edges extremely accurately. So as close as you can with a pair of scissors or a circle cutter or whatever tool that you have at hand. And then the back bases, you don't have to be as accurate. It's this black in this inner ring to this black on the outer ring that are going to need to line up, and that's why that has to be cut so accurately. So if you cut these a little wide on the base, that's just fine. And then on the forward dishes, they have these slots that are going around, and these also need to be cut fairly carefully. Ideally, a knife like an X-Acto or something would be good. A sharp kitchen knife works. It's hard to work with a pair of scissors, but if you start somewhere in the middle and then edge your way out, you can also use a pair of scissors to make those cuts. With these, you can see there's numbers lined up on one edge, but not the other, or a mark on one edge. The edge that has the numbers or has the mark, that edge needs to be cut as accurately as possible. The other edges are not critical to cut accurately. So once you cut your pieces, you'll end up with these sort of rounds, and you can see, again, we've got the forward dishes are smaller, and they'll line up on top here. Be very easy. And then once you have them cut, and once you have the notches cut, you're going to want to laminate these. And the problem is with these long slots, the E6B dish becomes unstable, right? The paper will crinkle and fold if you don't have something to add stability. Now there's a couple options for laminating. I used a pouch laminator, but that's a bit of an investment if you don't already have one. You can use self-adhesive lamination sheets, which again, you should be able to get from any office supply store. Lastly, we've had some folks laminate these with just clear packing tape. And you're just going to work the packing tape over and make sure it's sealed, and be careful to get as much bubbles out as you can in any of these lamination methods. With pouch lamination, on this dish especially, but on any of the discs, you actually want to recut them after the lamination is done. And you can cut them out with a little bit around the edge, right? So they don't have to be cut right to the edge with the pouch laminator. It's important that the edge where the papers line up is accurate, but this outer edge won't matter as much. So once you cut all your sheets, you end up with, oh, I've skipped one step. One important thing is making the base. So the base, you have 2 sheets, and once you have them, you're going to want to cut these center holes out, and depends on what you have. The grommet kit that I have came with a cutter, and so you're going to very carefully line up and make cuts with these. Now, one of the interesting tricks you can do is you can take the front sheet that goes with it and cut that first. And you see there's a little circle here in the forward edge, and you can press cut that. And little bit of circles there, we'll make sure it gets out, and you can see we got a nice clean cut. And then if you place that over the item that you're gonna cut beneath it, you can line that up and make sure that you're lined up all the way around. And in fact, you can spin it a little bit to make sure you're not out of true, right? And that would cause this to line up weird on different angles. But it looks like I've set it down fairly cleanly here. And so I'm gonna press through and cut the back sheet now with that. And so you can see me pressing through to cut that sheet, give it a little spin, and then I'll repeat this process with the front, with the other set. And again, we're going to cut the center hole as carefully as we can to get it on the middle. We do have the little hole to line up your cutter with. The only thing that's important about your cutter is that it's sized the same diameter as whatever you're going to use as an axle. So as I say, the grommet tools sometimes come with them, which makes that a lot easier to get done accurately. And again, we're going to line this up with the base we're going to put it onto. Kind of carefully get that all the way around lined up. Place the center, do a quick rotation to make sure that we've got it truly centered, and then twist to cut the bottom. Pull that off and make sure we got that. Not quite all the way through. Okay, now the bases you're going to put together, and I use one of the grommets here, and once I have this together, I'm going to take a moment, and it's not critical, but I like to line the one here on the 1s and 10 sides and the 100 on the 100s side so that they're in about the same position. And the only reason for that is when you go to flip the device over, it makes it a little easier to see. And now you're going to tape this a couple places before you do lamination. So once you've got the center holes punched, you'll laminate both the back base and forwards, and then you're going to repunch the centers through the lamination. And it's doing the holes first before you do lamination helps you get in alignment, and it actually helps you punching through the lamination a little bit easier. And so finally, this is the ending parts that we have. And so as you can see, I've got a base, which is double-sided. I've got this one side that's all blues. On another side, blues and reds here. And then I've got the two dishes. And as I say, on the current versions that are in your playtest kit, the bases have the same icons. So it has the heads-up display icon on the 100 side, and it's got the ASI, the airspeed indicator, on the 1s and 10s side. But it's actually really easy to notice. So you'll have 1s and 10s on the base to match the 1s and 10s. You'll have numbers that are ranging from kind of 50 through the hundreds and early thousands on the 100 side. So we're going to set this up where I've got the correct sides oriented together. I'm going to take the grommet and I'm going to push that through the hole that we've already cut, and I'm flipping it over, and here's the 1000 side, or excuse me, the 100 side, and I'm going to press the other part on. And now these grommet kits, you have the grommet piece, and then you have a ring, and you know, whatever your kit will have instructions on how to work it. This is just how this set works. Carefully take out one ring. They kind of stick together, so you make sure you have just one. And then you're going to place it over the grommet. And now there's a tool, in this case, where there's just a base and a pin here. So I'm going to set the pin through, lift that up, and then I'm going to, oops, knock the wheel off, that's not okay. And I'll place this onto the little base, replace the ring, slide the pin through, and then I've got a small hammer, and you're gonna give it a couple taps. You don't really have to hammer this, the metal's real soft. So just a couple hits. Take a look and make sure that the ring's knocked down. No, we didn't quite get it enough there. So I'm gonna take it again. You'll know the ring will be fixed, but again, you don't want to do it too hard because if it's too tight, it'll make it hard to spin. And that is the hardest I've had one of these fight. All right, let's do it, just because it's not recording. And there we have a finished E6BoP. And you can see we've got numbers that come through the slots at the given size. All the colors line up for them. And you're ready to start playtesting your Birds of Prey 2.0 kit. Let us know if you have any questions, any difficulties, or if you find any tricks to make these assembling these even easier. Good day.